In an upcoming video, we'll be applying some action effects to a model. Instead of explaining how to create those effects in that video, I thought it'd be best to make another video just showing this process. So our victim for this video will be this truck. We'll make an action effect that takes advantage of the huge exhaust ports in the back. I want to create a bunch of flames and smoke being emitted from the pipes. To get started, we're only going to need a few things. Something that will fit down snugly into the exhaust ports, in this case a toothpick, and a hot glue gun and some glue sticks. To begin, I cut back the toothpicks on both ends and then place them inside the exhaust ports. The toothpicks will be our supports for the hot glue. The placement is a bit important as your effect will follow the support. For example, since the toothpicks go straight up, then my effect will also be straight. If I wanted it to curve back, then I would need to use some wire or something else that could bend. Needless to say, once you have things where you want them, take your hot glue gun and glue the toothpicks or whatever you're using into the ports. Try to get as much glue as possible down into the port. Once you have them where you want them, set the car aside and let the glue cool. So now comes the fun part. We're going to start layering on hot glue and build up to the effect we want. I want to make two pillars of fire with a large cloud of smoke on top. So I will begin by building the two towers of fire first. This is simply done by running beads of glue up and down the toothpicks. I add a layer, then I let it cool. Add another layer, and then let that cool. Repeat until I'm content with what I have. Once the pillars have cooled, I can begin work on the clouds. These are made by layering on beads, or small globules of glue. And just like the pillars, I let each layer set up before I add another layer. Be careful not to rush and apply too much glue, otherwise the glue will be overcome by gravity and begin to run or sag. So here we are after the glue is set up. I decided to attach the two pillars to give added support. I didn't show it, but I also removed all the little glue strings you get anytime you use hot glue. So now we need to paint the glue. And here's the best part about this technique. The pillars and smoke are removable. Hot glue is pretty strong, but I didn't use very much of it when I glued the toothpicks to the truck, so removing the pillars is very easy. So now we can paint them without risk of getting paint on the truck. To paint on the flames, I'm going to use fingernail polish. Yeah, I know that seems strange. The reasons are fingernail polish is very thick. It also comes in very bright colors. It doesn't instantly mix like other paints. And last, fingernail polish dissolves fingernail polish, so we can use red and yellow to get orange, and we can do it without the use of mixing the colors on a palette before applying them to the model. Before I add the fingernail polish, I did airbrush black on the top as a pre-shading. I started with red as my base coat and applied it pretty much all over the part. After the red dries, I'll then use yellow, starting on the bottom of the pillars and working my way up. The yellow will dissolve some of the red and make orange. Also, some of the red will bleed through, giving a more flame-like look. After I'm done with the yellow, I let it dry and then dry brush with red. Last, I re-airbrush with black on the top. After everything's really well dried, I apply a clear coat over the top. The final step is to apply some gray or white weathering powder to finish the cloud effect. So here's how it turned out after I was done. The nice thing is that I didn't have to do anything to the car. One of the few videos the rivets were safe. The best part is the whole thing's removable, so I can store this truck in a case. If I want to display it, I can remove it from the case and plug in its flames. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and I hope you give this a try. It's very simple to do, and at the very least, it's fun to see what you can make. Anyway, thanks for watching.